सो इसको मैं द्रोणाचार्य टेस्ट बोलता हूँ एंड दिस इज गोइंग टू illustrate you. It's going to be a demonstration, like to show you how precise, how higher your aim is, and how good your strategy or plan is. Like we all have some sort of plan, but most frequent it so happen that मेंस कैसे क्लियर करोगे, ढेर सारी आंसर राइटिंग करके नंबर आ जा रहे हैं. बट द प्रॉब्लम विद दैट इज कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स में they will always show you unchecked copy. Have you ever wondered why? Like टॉपर्स की कॉपीज जो दिखाते हैं एंड नो कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट इज गोइंग लाइव एंड चेकिंग कॉपीज. नो कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट विल प्रोवाइड यू answer which are exactly following the word limit 150 to 50. So that's what here that makes the difference. So द्रोणाचार्य टेस्ट इसलिए यहाँ पे because there are two things that द्रोणाचार्य taught to his student including Arjuna. First is aim higher. जितना हाई आपका एम होगा उतना ही ऊपर आपका बढ़ जाएगा. The higher your aim will be, your arrow will reach to that length or higher your arrow will go. Second is precise, and that story we all know that भीम को पेड़ दिख रहा था, युधिष्ठिर को चिड़िया के पंख दिख रहे थे, दुर्योधन को पता नहीं क्या क्या दिख रहा था, बट ओनली अर्जुन कुड सी द एग्जैक्ट आई ऑफ द बर्ड. सो अगर आप हायर एम नहीं रख रहे हो, एग्जैक्टली प्रिसाइज नहीं हो, तो इट इज गोइंग टू बी very difficult for you to have a comprehensive and a complete plan. In complete plan से मेरा मतलब है कि there will be a question you do face everywhere, right? अगर आप means लिखियो तो you will find कि 4-5 questions are there कि उनकी हवा भी नहीं लगती है, where they are coming from, no one knows that. So a better strategy would be to identify some sort of pattern, because pattern exists. Okay, a pattern exists, you might not be knowing, so again wake up to reality. So this whole session I would recommend you to follow it precisely, like एक बार करके देखो and let's begin and be clear. Okay, so here we go. First question is, like I'm going to ask you 5 questions and you'll have to be as precise and exact you can be. So here are the instruction. First question is, what is needed to or required to become an IAS and IPS? And like the law says, no, be precise as law dictates. So in similar fashion, be orderly, effective, exact in your expression and maintain economy. अब इसमें पूरा आप कहानी नहीं बताने लग जाओगे कि UPSC क्लियर करना है. Give me the exact answer, because you know दैट्स व्हाट अगेन कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट करते हैं कि आपको इतना बड़ा आंसर दे देंगे कि उसमें एग्जैक्ट चीज़ें लिखनी क्या है आपको पता नहीं चलता है. एंड समटाइम्स लाइक इवन व्हेन आई वाज देयर, सो दे वुड नॉट इवन, लाइक आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट इन द लास्ट, बट व्हाट सो हैपेंस कि एक आंसर मॉडल आंसर दे देंगे, उसके बेस पे लाइक आई एम स्टिल आई हैव क्वालिफाइड मीन्स, एंड थिंग इज दैट दे वुड गिव people who don't even, like they haven't even qualified, उनके पास आंसर शीट होती है and they check your copies and give you reviews based on that. कई बार पूछते हैं कि इसमें क्या रिव्यू देना, something like that is. आप अगर किसी भी बंदे जानते हो ना, तो हर किसी के साथ ऐसा नहीं है कि हर कोचिंग में नहीं है, but there are coaching institute which do that. But let's not talk about that. Let's stick to our this exercise. And yes, so I would urge you to take 1-2 minute whatever time is required and be as exact, as effective and as orderly and economic as you can be. Okay, and then when you see the answer, no, so compare, because that's how you will learn. And it might happen that you might disagree, then you have to see like if why is that resistance, because some people will get that resistance, and I would ask you that follow. Despite that, follow till the fifth question, and you will know everything has a meaning. Everything that I am doing is well planned, and if I myself is not planned, then I don't like feel or don't think that I should be asking you to be precise. So that's that. Let's see the answer here. So you need UPSC recommendation with a categorical rank. अगर आपकी रैंक नहीं है तो यूपीएससी की रिकमेंडेशन, यूपीएससी डज नॉट recommend you to become IAS, but your rank decides. So UPSC just recommends you for services, and then your rank decide if you are getting IAS or IPS. So IAS के लिए you need 80 below given current situation to be sure, and technical eligibility in case of IPS. Those were the question, exact question, and that's why I did highlight the words. And if you have written some generic answer, then you know the extent, to an extent, it is superfluous. So that's like, you can be the judge of it, who has a better and exact and effective answer. Even if you have a better one, that's good. Now second question is, what is needed to clear UPSC civil services exam with a good rank? Because if you want to become an IAS or IPS or IFS, then obviously this is what is required. Now I would like, first question you did not add an idea, so I would request you to apply that learning. Apply the learning and experience from question 1 and try to be orderly, effective, exact in expression, and maintain due economy of the words while answering this question, and see how better you do. No one is going to check you but yourself. Just be honest and write your answer. Pause this thing here and write your answer. Now let's see the answer written here. Answer is, you just have to qualify prelim, score 850 plus in main marks in mains, develop administrative personality, and be relaxed and original at interview. And these things have well planned strategy behind them, like and written from my perspective or general perspective rather than any category. So if you are in a category, you should have that idea. If you did not had any idea that you belong to OBC or SC/ST, and you are just writing a generic answer, then you don't have that level of precision. I hope that makes sense to you, because that is what is required, and I'll show you exactly why. So let's go to the next question. How can I clear prelim without fail? Well, obviously, if you have already cleared 2-3 times, you would know exactly what it is. Your subjectivity exists depending upon your individual strength and weaknesses. कई लोगों की कैसे पढ़ते हैं, कुछ लोगों को बुक से पढ़ना पसंद है, कुछ वीडियो से, so that exists. Depending upon whatever it is, formulate your answer and see if you can express it better. Okay. Now you already have 2 experiences of exact, or at least the standard which are upheld here in this demonstration. उसके क्या standard है, उस basis पे आप अपना बनाओ and be the judge of it. So take your time and write your answer. And now I'm going to show you the answer. Okay, here we go. Target for 120 plus marks in GS and 90 plus in CSAT. There are 2 phases to accomplish that objective: preparation phase and performance phase. Preparation phase requires a bunch of skill, time, consistency, motivation, etc. Vast reading of conceptual understanding. With conceptual understanding, previous year questions and simulated practice are sine qua non. तो प्रिपरेशन फेज के लिए यहाँ पे भैया 4 बातें बताई गई हैं, एंड इफ यू थिंक एनी ऑफ देम इज sine qua non or non-essential, you can definitely comment below, or if you have written a better answer, then definitely, but that's just not it, right? Performance phase, like the day of exam, many people fail because they are so much panicked. पैनिक में गलती करके आते हैं, 1 नंबर से रह जाता है, and you just don't get through. So दो चीज़ों का ध्यान रखना है. And if what again my aim is to be as precise, as clear as you can be. No one like कभी 120 प्लस से आपका GS क्वालिफाइंग मार्क नहीं ऊपर गया है. सो इफ यू आर एमिंग हायर देन व्हाट लाइक 116 था अराउंड 2016 के आसपास. दैट वाज आई थिंक हाईएस्ट इन लास्ट 20 years. And again, you cannot just aim for 67 marks because there has been vast variability in CSAT. So that's why it is. But again, यहाँ पे एक और चीज I would ask or say that you are not even required to go for 140 or 150 prelim marks. That's not required, because then you would be wasting your time, where like the main exam is ought to have majority of your time, your practice, because UPSC itself says its main exam. So let's see our next question, and start making your mind and be open about and honest if you are having better answer or these are somewhat better answers. Okay, so next question is, what is required to clear mains? This is where the problem begins, because different people will have different optional, different subjective view. But still, now a pattern has been established for answering this question, and you cannot say anything that now you don't know. In first question you had that leverage, but be precise, answer this question as effectively, as exactly, and in less word as you can. Okay, I hope you have done it. And I would again, if you are like you have set back, I would ask you to practice like 5 question hai, do it properly. So I'm going to show you the answer. Ready? Here we go. This is subjective part, where we literally have to write subjective answer. Largest set of variability that two people writing exact same answer might end up. So 70 and 100, we all know, any main serious aspirant knows this fact. There exists largest set of variability, like two people writing exact same answer. अगर किसी की handwriting सही नहीं है, सही representation नहीं है, you can have this set of variable कि एक को 70 मिल रहे हैं, एक को 100 plus मिल रहा है. So that's first thing you have to keep in mind. Despite all the individual differences, following are must. Main exam के लिए answering all the question and all the parts while meeting the demand of the question in a standard format, which is orderly, effective, exact in expression, combined with due economy of word in 170 minutes, not 80, 79, sorry, 79 minutes. Because if you have written main exam, you know at least 1 to 2 minutes is taken out when you are filling that form, where you have to put your roll number, sign and signature and whatnot. So, and that comes in the middle of when you are already writing something, so you cannot take that 180 minutes. There is a difference. In 1 minute you can like write 5 points and get 2 marks out of last question. So it creates a difference. Lastly, writing neatly and highlighting keywords. The human factor you have to take into consideration, that your headings are visible, well placed, well spaced, and that's like the human factor create the difference between 70 and 110 plus marks. That variability I was talking. And there might be a difference of ideology too. Some examiners are somewhat liberal, so you have to take that into consideration. And lastly, what like I have seen most people miss out is they don't see the bonus opportunities. And if you didn't know that, again, I hope it helps. Now let's see the next question. How can I score it? No, that is something I would deal in details, because mains you cannot play with it. You cannot understand that in every single detail in a minute or 2 minutes, and you are not even required to, you are not even ought to play that lightly with means. You cannot afford that. So you have to be deliberate and as clear as those 179 minutes if you want to get every single mark that you can. So that is something I will deal in detail because it demands that. So next question is, what makes an IES personality? Because there is this interview, right? Where again many people go blank in interview, in front of interview panel. Many people often are so much anxious, so much nervous that अच्छा खासा आती हुई चीज को भी गड़बड़ कर देते हैं या फिर झूठ बोलने चले जाते हैं. I have this friend of mine जो झूठ बोल के आया and he got caught, like literally got caught, and they said कि नहीं आता ना बेटा, तो क्यों बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हो. तो that is what happens. So you can avoid all those things, okay? But yeah, for right now you have to write an answer for that. So if you have paid attention or face interview, you can write your own answer. Most people, even serious aspirant, think it's something to deal later on, and that's very true, right? If you are watching, you think it is something I'll prepare after clearing means, and that again makes a difference of easily 20 to 30 marks. It can make difference, it does make difference, because I am myself a psychologist. I know the body language, the sign language, and people think they can easily cheat. That doesn't happen, and that's why here is your answer. Ready? Interview is a personality test intended to judge the mental caliber of a candidate. In a broad terms, assessment of intellectual quality, social trait, interest in current affairs. Some quality to be judged are mental alertness, critical power of assimilation, clear logical exposition, balance of judgment, variety and depth of interest, ability for social cohesion and leadership, intellectual and moral integrity. Now you would say कि कहाँ से आ गया, right? Okay, and hold to that thought. Now I'm going to show you. I'll answer that in second, into like in a minute. But let's see. Whatever that you have done the exercise, you might think you might be some place. उतना clarity coherence नहीं होगा, but I want to show you something. Ready? Here it goes. It is notification of Civil Services Exam 2022. You can see that in the corner there, and it's page number 27. Go and read this thing, and if you have not read it and if you were not aware of these things, then yes, please do wake up to reality. Okay, there are few things which are explicitly mentioned in your civil services notification. Of these, here we have, like, fifth is not of relevance, but these things make all the difference. Why? Because while like checking the copies of like thousands of candidates, no one, like hardly any coaching institute gives this in their orientation, like you have to go through these things. And obviously if you have taken any test series, you will find that how many times you have got these remarks. And go back, and if you want to like literally see what I've been doing here, is there are 7 reviews prior to making this video, and every single one is full of these exact thing. Every single review. Why? Because I know what is required. I've been there. I'm so confident. Because of that, I can put it out to the world, which have all the leverage and capacity to criticize, but they cannot, because I know what is required and I've been doing that. One of my student like has this handwriting, and I am telling him exactly what words are needs to be checked in, why it is important, because it does leads to deduction, and I've been frustrated many a times and I have deducted those marks, and so does my colleagues who are like examining the copies. Sometimes they don't even read because your handwriting is that much of pain, like it literally is when you are checking. So even though if it is not that clear, the legibility makes a lot of difference, and that is why, again back to answer, means the 70 and 110, that's one factor. Second, mark will not be allotted for mere superficial, sorry, it's seventh, superficial knowledge. What is superficial knowledge? Like if you know what it means, then you don't have to watch any further. You have that thing in you and you've been doing good. Because when I ask people to give me an example of superficial knowledge and concrete knowledge or concrete expression in terms of introduction or any idea, they don't even know. But when I check their copies, it is full of that. And lastly, credit will be given for orderly, effective, and exact expression combined with due economy of word in subjects of examination. So there you have it. If you were quite aware and you were following these things in your answer writing, and if your coaching institute, whatever test you have taken, they were asking you to follow these things, you are on the right path. Good luck, best of luck to you and all the best to you. But if you are not aware, then this is your eye opener. Okay, so you have to be very precise and know like what is the UPSC's criteria. Like they are even giving you numbers should be in Indian. Some people do write Roman numbers in their copies, though I don't think they deduct marks for that. But if there is any instruction, do follow it. And if there is an instruction given in your UPSC notification, definitely. So my whole point comes to this thing. Okay, there are small difference. There are 20 question in one GS paper, and if these things do matter, and they do matter even for 1 mark, then I think you can like guess an idea. 20 question, 20 marks, one question paper, right? There are 4 GS paper question, though ethics paper has I think 19 questions. So overall still it makes a huge difference. Okay, and that the demand for exact, effective and orderly expression is same in essays as well. You go and check, they are asking the same thing. So in essays too it makes a difference of 10 to 20 mark easily. Superficial knowledge is also applied in case of essays. Like some people write so much superficial stuff in their essays, like you can just like guess they are going to talk about social, economic, political, and they don't say there will be negative political implication. What is that? That's superficial. You don't know what exactly is going to be the negative political implication. So these are the words, and that's what I teach and make you aware of in my sessions, in my videos. Then there are other domains like time domain. You have to be as precise as you can be. Some people take like 3 घंटे का पेपर है, 10 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा लिख के आ रहे होते हैं टेस्ट में. एंड मोस्टली एंड वन ऑफ द इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट इज, कई लोग जो बोनस के बारे में नहीं जानते हैं, कोई आइडिया नहीं कि हाउ यू कैन गेट बेटर मार्क्स इन सम क्वेश्चंस. इन अगर आप 20-20 करके जोड़ोगे ना, तो अपने जितने भी नंबर आए हैं ना, एक एक नंबर का अगर आप हिसाब रखोगे, तो आपकी मैथ इतनी अच्छी तो होगी कि यू कुड कैलकुलेट दैट व्हाट काइंड ऑफ डिफरेंस इट मेक्स. इफ यू आर गेटिंग 750, इट मेक्स 850 एक एक नंबर करके. एंड दैट्स व्हाट टीना डाबी टॉक्ड अबाउट कि एक एक नंबर की लड़ाई है, कट थ्रोट कंपटीशन है. You cannot make silly mistake. Do you think silly mistakes are only limited to prelim? No, people do make silly mistake in main examination. They blabber in introduction, they give somewhat like circular reasoning and non-coherent, like you just have to watch these videos and you'll get to know what I'm talking about. Then you can check your own copies. And what I said in the beginning in the first video, like people are not accepting what is quite in front of their eyes. So that being said, you need a better plan to contain your silly mistakes, to keep you on toes for time for your effective and exact expression while maintaining the economy of the words. Sorry. And you have to be legible, right? And avoid superficial expression of knowledge, mostly in introductions. And you have to follow a format in your body and go and check any topper, be it Akshat Jain, Anudup Resetti, Miss Sharma. You will find they are all talking about the things I am like literally following in my videos. In fact, I go beyond. You can see that no one is telling you to complete your paper in 179 minutes or asking you to be legible in E, A, T, P, D, or giving you like, if you have ever find this expression, because like I said, most people who are checking your copies do not even know what superficial knowledge looks like. They check introduction, and again there is a reason for that. When you are checking copies, profit motive is at top, so you want to maximize number of copies you check and move on. Now lastly, let's see the reason for my last question, the personality question. Let's see that. And it comes at page number 27, notification 2022. Go ahead, read it. That answer was taken from the syllabus for a personality given by UPSC, and that's why those words were there. And in those words there are things like, some people completely are ignorant about international current affair. They are like kar lenge. Then sir and madam, how would you make this balance of judgment in your thought? How could you develop logical exposition? You don't even like, I have asked, most people don't even know the meaning of logical exposition. Forget about making one. And what is different between like intellectual qualities and what they have given, intellectual integrity? So these things, unless until you know, how can you show that to a board? or interview board. How can you? You don't even know what that is. And definitely you are going to lose marks for that. If I am alert, then what are the factors which anyone can ask? There are factors, there are questions which anyone can ask in terms of mental alertness, and that is one of the situational awareness. Are you aware about your surrounding, about your time orientation, place orientation, direction? And when I talk to these means qualified people, interview people, they don't have situational awareness. And not just don't have, there's a dearth of situational awareness, social awareness, emotional awareness, nothing. So these things take time, and when you have someone who is aware of that, then only with due discussion, first with the understanding of these terms, what they do mean, and then having discussions, you can develop those qualities which are required in an administrator. एक बहुत अच्छा डायलॉग है कि आप एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर आईएएस बनते हो और यूपीएससी सेलेक्ट करता है, यूपीएससी आपको आईएएस नहीं बनाता है. So these qualities are required, and once you have it, there is nothing for you. One, like, the confidence will ooze out of you once you develop these things. When you have these things, so there is no like need to pretend or to show anything, and this has helped people, like the people who are getting 570 something rank to get 300 and then getting a IAS. So if you are coming to know about these things for the first time after being in preparation for years, 1 year, 2 year, or whatever that may be, you don't even know the syllabus, you don't even know the criteria, then I hope this acted as the eye opener I intended it to be, and you would pay attention and be somewhat more aware about these things. And yes, lastly I would say I have done a statistical analysis, pattern analysis, and then I have devised a plan and a strategy to get the best marks that you can, and that is what I am working right now. If it makes sense to you, you can join it, you can develop those skills, especially with respect to mains and interview per se. But yeah, interview is my interview approach is limited to my students, because I cannot have a discussion here on. But still, I hope you got to know, because you these qualities cannot be developed within 3 months. Impossible. The very definition of personality is something that is enduring, that does not change, relatively permanent. So you have to develop those things and keep on follow and subscribe. नहीं करना है भाई मत करिए, but these things are essential. You cannot clear or get into the final list without adhering to these things. And then I'll talk next video, I'll talk about some, like, the hazards we have which prevent us. Like, I'm also seeing, and I've been somewhat culprit and a victim of that, like wasting time and all that, mostly like that emotional satisfaction based reading and testing yourself without testing yourself, just फीलिंग आनी चाहिए, सेटिस्फैक्शन आना चाहिए, आउटकम से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. तो दैट इज ऑल्सो देयर. सो आई विल डिस्कस दैट लेटर, बट आई नीड to know that anyone other than my student who is watching, I need you to comment on this so that I am motivated. I am also not going to put so much work without appreciation of it. So if it made some impact, it gave you some insight about this examination, do comment and like. हमको भी भाई थोड़ा सा मोटिवेशन चाहिए होता है. And that's all for this video. See you in the next one.